Hey, what's up, everybody? It's time for Black Twitter, April 29th, Monday, and we got a lot to talk about. Some sad news, some good news. R.I.P. John Singleton. We got two new segments, a really cool fashion segment and a new controversial tweet segment, as well as my famous woke segment. So hang on there with us, and we're coming at you right after this.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Tune in right now.
Yeah, here we go, here we go, here we go. We got a new show. We got a new panel. Coming fresh and correct.
What's going on, everybody? It is me, Jayla Roxx, and I'm in the house tonight.
I know. It's so. First of all, shout out to Nakia on the.
I know. I love the voice, though.
Right,
the intro.
voiceover girl. But yes, this is your girl, Raquel Harris.
All right, welcome to these new lovely ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot going on tonight. We just found out that John Singleton passed.
Yeah.
I actually know John, had a couple of interactions with him, and he was a couple of years ahead of me at USC Film School. So sad news. He was taken off life support. Apparently, he was in a self-induced coma before, I guess, his family decided to. You guys tell me what you've heard about it.
He suffered from a stroke, and then there was a lot of hearsay back and forth of whether or not he was actually in a coma. So his daughter was going back and forth with his mom, and there was like a whole bunch of family drama with that. And
really? I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Supposedly, the daughter is saying that the mom was pretty much trying to take control of the estate and the funds. So, but we never really got like a for sure if he was actually in a coma, but I guess that's what we're going to go with what medical examiner said. So.
And it's unfortunate all this has to play out in public because we just had the Nipsey thing, and all we really want to do is just, just pay tribute to John.
Yeah,
LA's a break.
Yeah, LA's losing a lot of people.
Do you guys have a favorite John Singleton film?
Oh man, I don't know.
I have to say Poetic Justice.
Okay.
Maybe because I'm like a 90s kid. So
Me
that
too.
Was like one of, like,
you're from my era.
I'm 94, right? Okay. So I'm a big fan of Janet Jackson.
Okay.
And of course Tupac.
Pac.
So that one was like, I had to watch that one at least 2 or 3 times in my childhood. So
I'd have to say Baby Boy. There's just so many quotables from Baby Boy, like Jody. I stole my car, Jody. Okay.
Fun fact about me.
Oh, while you're talking, I'm just gonna let the audience know we have this really cool image of John. Looking like a really good-looking, charismatic brother he is. But keep talking.
I've never seen Baby Boy.
Off with their head.
No, your black card revoked, girl. No, that's
Hopefully by the end of this episode, I can get it back and state it.
Oh my gosh! I mean, he's really contributed to so many films and TV shows. Snowfall's on right now. I mean, he's great, and he died at such a young age too.
51.
Like that's crazy, and it's just so sad to see.
For what it's worth, I liked Baby Boy, but that wasn't my favorite film. Definitely, a Boys in the Hood fan.
Oh yeah.
So, but. We got to move on. We got a full show, but R.I.P. John. We miss you out there, brother. Lots of love. Neighborhood, you know how we say it out here. Okay, so let's get going with our first segment. Ladies, I don't know if you guys have been following this whole thing about Offset's reunion with his parent or with his dad, I guess they've been separated for 23 years. Let me just lay it on out there for you, I guess, while our engineer pulls up the clip. Okay. Apparently, they had been estranged. But they had communicated, and Offset had reached out to the father. I'm sure he responded in kind, but Offset, since he's been famous, he's been trying to give his dad money, like, let me help you out, bruh. Let me help you out, bruh. And his dad has actually just been rejecting those attempts to give him money. Now, looking out from the outside, and it seems like his dad probably felt like, I did my son so wrong. I was out of his life. I don't feel worthy to take this money from him. But I guess let's just start with you, Jayla. Let's get your take on it.
Well, it's always, I feel like, the other way around. And I don't know if it's like a guilt trip kind of thing. Like, I don't want you to give me the money, but if you give it to me, I'm going to take it.
Right.
The third time I'm going to take it.
Right. So, what was the episode of Fresh Prince when he went to Soul Train and he didn't get the tickets because he was like, oh, no, that was Cosby Show. Sorry. He's like, oh, you go. No, you go. And then he ended up taking it and now he felt like some type of way.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say the episode where his dad came back.
Oh, that too.
Right.
But I'm really happy to see this is being publicized because we always see negative stuff in the industry as far as rappers go. So this is a good look.
Okay. Yeah, especially I think for him, he's had such a long
and this
trail
is also
of,
good PR.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, I was gonna, it's always some, double-edged sword there. But yeah, I agree. I think for me, I don't know what it feels like to not have my father in my life. Thankfully, I've had both of my parents up until, today. And so I think it's beautiful to see a son and a dad connect, because I feel like that partnership and that relationship is so essential to the growth of a little boy. So, and I'm glad to see that he is a great father to his own kids. He said it himself that he wanted to fix all the things that he had going on in his life. So, shout out to you, Offset.
And let's talk about Offset, just, I guess, the big heart that he has. And I think it was a proper time for the media in the world to see this display of black male love, because I don't know if what you guys have been getting, but the big discussion in just the black male community is like this whole idea of not just toxic masculinity, but toxic black masculinity. Usually attributed to black men, and they were trying to tag Nipsey Hussle with that, and they have such a bad reputation, with the way some of it's deserved, obviously, but not being there for our kids. So I just thought it was really important and a seminal moment that you got a chance to see of a father and a son bonding like this, putting the pride and stuff aside, because God knows, I don't know, I was fortunate enough to have my dad too, but I don't know if I would have the forgiveness that Offset had and have the grandness. So we need to highlight that more too, that element of forgiveness.
Absolutely. I wish we would take that down, because there's I know so many black dads that are in their children's lives. So and unfortunately there's a lot of variables that go into why the black man is not in the home. That's imprisonment, that's they're being targeted the most out of disproportionately amongst other people, so other groups of people. So I think it's a lot of variables that people don't take into consideration when they put this cloud over black men. So,
but I feel like it's they're playing also devil's advocate, like be in their lives, and then when you are in their life, they gave Dwayne Wade, because he took his son to Pride. They gave him too much. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like, be supportive, but not be too supportive, because we don't want you to be supportive.
And really what that is the black community just hasn't caught up with the times today.
We gotta catch up, mustard.
No,
okay?
absolutely.
So you guys are getting into a whole other debate. I like this, but we're gonna open a whole new can of worms right now.
Black fatherhood in all spectrums of love and appreciation. I agree. Retweet that.
Okay,
we're retweeting that one.
Since you guys brought that up, and I'm an advocate for the LGBTQ community, what do you guys think about a child, I forget the age of D. Wade's son, but a child, 4 to 9, even being somewhat sexualized or exposed to sexual situations?
Oh, I don't even think you have to be a part of the LGBTQ community to know what it feels like to be sexualized.
That happens in the temples, in the churches, and that happens with and Boy Scouts, we just found out.
But is it a good thing, though? Is it a healthy thing?
To sexualize your child?
Especially a child being exposed to certain, or him taking on a sexual identity.
Okay. Well,
you go first.
It's a broad question.
Well, okay. If you're talking about in terms of whether or not it was okay or appropriate for the son to be at Pride,
that was the issue some people took with.
Well, I will say this: I do think that he should be around his community. I do think that. I think he should be exposed to people that are like him. Absolutely. But at the same time, I've gone to Pride. And everything that you see at Pride it's a little bit too nudity. It's a little bit too much.
It's a little too
much.
But those are the people who don't understand what it means to be yourself. Now, is it bad to take your child to something in that, like maybe not exactly Pride, but maybe like appreciation night or something like that? Yes, because the reason why is, there's other people different in the world, regardless if he likes boys or girls. That's not. He's too young for that. We're not trying to. Who are you dating at this point? But just know that there's other people in the world.
This is a really good segment and a juicy topic, and I'm just going to throw this one thing out, and then we'll move on. But because I'm so interested in this conversation, have you guys been following Charlize Theron, the actress? She adopted a child from Africa.
Yes.
And I guess her statement is that her son is trans. I forget the age.
Charlize Theron.
What did I say?
Charlie. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, but I guess again, like the pushback, and just to throw the counter argument was, parents don't necessarily realize how they can influence their children, even when they think they're being neutral. How they may plant certain ideas in their child's head, i.e. inception, and kids just want to please their parents. So have you guys heard of that counter argument?
Well, the thing about that though is that Charlize didn't take any action until her daughter said, "Hey, I'm not a boy. This is not how I feel."
That's what we got.
Well,
that's
I don't think she would. I don't think that the girl is going to say dress me up as a girl just to do it. I think that that's something why she has to be feeling something. And I don't think a lot of people understand that at that age, you are tapping into your own sexuality. I know at that age, I was starting to have crushes on boys.
Well, I feel it wasn't more of like sexual identity. It was more about just like physical identity.
Yes, gender.
Because I think gender identity and sexuality are two different things, and that's why I think where we kind of get our lines blurred.
Yes.
Because they feel like, oh, because that's gay, or you feel like you're queer, that means you're sexualizing this certain.
Absolutely. Because the same thing with I mean, if you're a heterosexual child, I mean, you're seeing The Notebook and all these different things growing up, like Nala and Simba rolling around in Lion King, and we all knew what they were doing. I mean, we all knew.
I knew what they were doing.
You know, we all knew what was going on, and we didn't, as kids, you don't think about it because your brain's not geared that way. But at the same time, you can put 2 and 2 together, and every kid does. So it doesn't, I don't think it has to be all that deep if a kid comes out and says, hey, like, I don't like this. This isn't my life.
Good discussion, ladies. To be continued later. I love this topic, and let's definitely work it in the future.
Right.
But we got a few other things to get to, so let's go on to our retweet or delete segment. It's all about fashion, brought to us by the new edition and the lovely Jayla. So tell us what you got going on.
Well, I'm a social media fan. Sometimes my thumbs be all cramping up and stuff. So a lot of the social media that I like to follow, a lot of like Janelle Monáe, we have Gabrielle Union, and even like Waka Flocka. They've been like fashion icons on Instagram and social media. And a lot of it has to do with like Fashion Nova. And you have all of these clothing brands that are coming up. So I brought some looks, and we get to decide, are we retweeting them or are we deleting them? Okay. So first up, we have Russell Westbrook. I'm sorry.
Cam Newton.
Oh, I keep getting them mixed up.
I know, it's okay.
All
they
right.
both are fashionable, and
they are fashionable. Okay, so first up,
if you guys call that fashionable, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna jump in and clown. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. All right. First up, we have Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing a tan suede blazer, of course, from ASOS.
Okay.
A top hat. We love a good top hat.
And he loves a good top hat. I feel like he wears those often.
Let's see. Are we retweeting it? Is this something that you would wear? This is something like,
I would put it this way.
I just won.
I actually rock with this outfit, except for him, like, the pants are so tight and flooding that it's showing his skin. That's the only thing that turns me off. But besides that,
I like a little man ankle, though.
I love
man meat.
Throw a boat shoe on, Cam. I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'll say retweet.
He's a retweet for me.
Okay, yeah. I said besides that, I'd retweet it.
All right, cool. All right, so retweet for the man ankles. All right, next up we have Miss Brisha Webb. She is a comedian. You've seen her on Meet the Blacks and Marlon. She's wearing a ruffle green top, and I love the polka dot cotton ball heels.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and delete.
Okay, tell me why.
Because, it's just too much. I feel like, okay, what's the color of these shorts? Because I feel like there's so many colors all in this. It's just making me overwhelmed.
I'm a fan of the like bold statement shoe. If you're gonna wear something simple color, you have to have a bold statement shoe.
Okay.
I actually like her outfit, and I love like the little colored fuzz balls to me because she's a comedian and it makes it kind of fun and funny at the same time. And I don't know, plus I think she looks good. So I would retweet it. Yeah.
I'm left on red.
Okay, so I'm a retweet. You say retweet,
retweet.
and Rocky said it's a delete. All right, moving on. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Now we have Russell Westbrook. Now this one I can't forget this look. He is giving us McDonald's in 1995.
He sure is.
I'm sorry, McDowell's actually. Coming to America.
The Hamburglar look.
Yes, he's giving us
shoes are
McDowell's meets Panda Express. He's on the way to the airport, I believe, and he's wearing a neon red and yellow ketchup mustard look. Are we retweeting or are we deleting?
You know what?
Come on now.
Okay, I feel like he's known for his weird looks.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and retweet because it's not like it's gonna get any different each week.
I mean,
let him be himself.
So you deleted
I did.
Brisha's look.
I would not wear it. I could see myself wearing this before wearing what she was wearing.
Okay. So at least you won't get lost in the crowd.
You know.
We know where to find you.
Hey.
At least in the dark, too. You can glow up. The glow up is real. What you think?
Well, I do understand that Russell Westbrook is known for his outrageous fashion choices, so that's nothing new to me. But to me, this is just a mess. Like when you talked about the hamburger look, you know, and the neon, I don't know where to like strap him on the end of my bike and put a blinker on him or something. So I'm sorry, Russell Westbrook, you get the big fat mediocre.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a McDonald's wrap. Like the burger.
McDowell's
with like ketchup. It's like the yellow wrap and then ketchup.
All right, it's a delete. So that's it for our segment.
Okay.
So I'll be bringing more looks in each week, and we'll get to retweet and delete them.
Yes, I
and
love
you
it.
also can nominate some people. Let us know in the comments who you want to delete this week.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Who we deleting this week?
A lot of people will be on that list.
Right. But yeah.
All right, so we're going to go right to our next segment. We got Raquel bringing us the most controversial, provocative tweets she found on Black Twitter. So why don't you set us up?
You know, I love, a little conversation, sometimes controversial, sometimes just something that's just a good conversation that we can discuss with. Because sometimes I feel like I'll have one way that I think about something, but I'd love to know what everyone else thinks. So the tweet of this week that stood out the best to me, or the most to me, was... This is from YouNotice_me. She put, "This is how I feel when I hit a guy up first." And in the picture, you can see Nikki Parker and Professor Ogilvy. And if you don't know who those two people are, this is also an iconic show of the Black community, The Parkers. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but if you haven't, go back and watch those reruns. But yes, if you watch the show, you know Nikki Parker is very thirsty for Professor Ogilvy.
Hey, Professor.
Okay. And any chance that she got, she was always with him, hence why she says this is how she feels when she hits a guy up first. So, my question to you guys is, who should hit who up first? How long should it take for you to hit someone up after the first date?
Okay. Well, first off, let's kind of read the girl who made the tweet. You notice me? I should be a little nervous.
Does she have a reputation on Black Twitter?
Underscore me.
Yeah, she's like, you notice me. It's in her words. So she might be a little level
Thirsty.
10 crazy. So I can see why she is Nikki Parker.
Okay.
When it comes to hitting somebody up, I ain't got time for it. Like, I can pencil you in.
Okay.
But at this point, what is we doing? We grown.
So wait, you go out on a date with somebody, you're digging their vibe, and then a couple days pass. Who hits who up first, though?
Text me when you make it home.
Oh, and then that's when you start the conversation off?
Yeah, text me when you make it home. So when you text me first, then I'll text you.
Okay, so are you a teaser? Like you feel like you can chase me?
I got a teaser.
See, I'm that person that's I'm
a little. Actually, I'm a priority and not an option.
Ooh, okay.
So you have to make time for me, and you got to have a job.
I heard that song before.
Okay.
Yeah,
and education, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm that person that's like some type of formal education. Trade school, something. Just a little bit, so we can talk about something more than, the weather.
Okay, so...
Now we're getting the male's point of view.
Right.
Male's point of view, full disclosure, and I think I mentioned this earlier, I never watched The Parkers. I was aware of it. Monique, everybody knows Monique and her stand-up. She's funny as hell, but just wasn't my thing, honestly. I would seriously, change the channel, but the other stuff...
So you didn't like Moesha either, then?
I watched Moesha more than this.
Because Moesha was the Parkers were a spin-off
Yes,
of
but maybe
Moesha.
it's because I grew up on Brandy, so I like Brandy more.
Okay.
But yeah, but like that, and we're talking about the others, like Boys in the Hood, and all the John Singleton flicks that they run over and over again on BT. But back to the topic. I think he's actually framed a two-part question. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's who hits up first in general, and then it was more specific about after the first date.
Yeah. So, do you think, as a man, do you think it's okay for a girl to hit you up first?
Yeah, I think it's all good. And
is that sexy, or do you feel like it's too forceful?
Let me tell you, you'll hear guys who get turned off, and this is so whack to me, like, oh, well, the girl made the first move, and, she looked too thirsty. I'm like, to me, that's an insecure guy if you can't take a woman stepping up to you. Like, I like that. That shows confidence, and there's a number of reasons. I don't mind as a man. I've never mind, making the first move, but notice it's always been, like, refreshing.
Okay, I agree. I feel like I'm that person that goes with the flow. So if we're just talking, then I might hit you up. It just depends, because sometimes I'm that person that like randomly through the day, if you come across my mind,
I
be
might
like,
text you.
You know, or if I see something funny, I'll be like, you know what, I want to share this with this person.
Yeah, I'll share a meme with you, but if you don't respond back till tomorrow or tonight, then I'm
done. Yes.
Or if you respond with one of those like hold down, like not even respond, I'm good.
Yes.
The reaction to the messages do not count as text.
Because low key, that's like high key shade now. Like, you're cute. I see you, but not like really.
Okay.
You're all right.
I did that to my boy the other day. It wasn't even a girl guy thing, but I didn't know it's shade. My boy sent me a text about, I'm not gonna make it to this party or whatever. I'm gonna hang out. And who's gonna hang out with this girl? And I gave him the little thumbs down. And then next thing he texted was like, "Why are you hating?"
Wow.
It is a low-key shade thing, but sometimes I'm lazy. If you text me, I'm halfway asleep or something, and I'll give you a like, but I'll also respond back.
Because at 9:30, honestly, I'm in bed, so.
Facts.
Yeah, no,
Airplane mode.
The whole texting thing too. I'm a big fan of texting. I think it makes it easier when I guess we want to get out of our comfort zone and pick up a phone and talk to people in person. But I think the flip side of that, I'm trying to distinguish myself because I come from an era where people call people. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to distinguish
I call. I don't like texting back and forth. I'm not sitting here
after a few times of that.
No, and especially not like a serious conversation. Like, I'm not about to keep going back and forth. Like, let's just pick up the phone and be done.
Yeah, or FaceTime. Because catfish.
Okay. All good stuff. Good stuff. Everybody take notes. Gentlemen, take notes. Ladies, take notes. And hit us up in the comments.
And give notes if you have them.
Give notes. We'll take them. We'll take them. Never too old to learn. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to my famous woke segment. So, I'm going to talk to my little woke segment camera over here. And ladies, let me just throw this out. Last week the topic was gentrifiers. I don't know if you saw the white guy in D.C. who was wanted his dogs to play on Howard University campus, and he was like, "Yo, you can move the campus and all that." So yeah,
and
crazy.
It was like,
crazy. Yeah, they doxed his butt real quick. But okay, so this week's segment kind of continues the theme of gentrifiers. A, with JayZ, and I'm going to tell you why it's a weird angle, and B, with Nipsey Hussle and his mural that was vandalized. So I'm going to use the term gentrifiers, I don't want to say loosely, but in a broader definition. But first of all, did you guys hear about JayZ's show at Webster Hall?
Yes, where he was discussing how black people need to pretty much buy up their communities, which is what Nipsey Hussle was doing.
Right.
In the LA community.
Yeah, but the funny thing is but Jay has a mixed record on gentrifying. But I don't know, did you hear anything about the show?
I did not. You have to fill me in because this kind of went over my head.
Well, we're going to get into it, and obviously
I was too busy watching Homecoming.
Okay.
Because that's part black culture too, and Black Twitter went crazy.
So obviously, and like Nipsey Hussle's been a big topic on this show as well for the last few weeks. And I remember when Nipsey dropped the Crenshaw album, I want to say it was like 10 years ago. And but the thing is, literally when he did that and he was selling the albums, the CDs for literally $100, and people like, nobody buys CDs for $100 anymore.
Yeah.
Jay ended up blowing up. Jay commended him and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna donate to you, little brother. I like what you're doing," and he wanted to encourage that. So this is what we're gonna see in the video is JayZ's kind of tribute as he raps a little bit to Nipsey at his Webster Hall show he just had.
Let's take a look.
Anybody still confused as to what he was doing? Make him out the hood to keep us trapped. The red line would probably declines if you live by black. I don't think they hear me though.
Talk about gentrifying and redlining.
Gentrify your own hood before these people do it. Claim eminent domain and have your people moving. That's a small glimpse into what Nipsey was doing. But anybody still confused as to what he was doing? The neighborhood designed to keep us trapped. They redlined it so property declines if you live by blacks. They depress the asset and take the property back. It's a ruthless but a genius plan in fact. So now we fighting over scraps. Crabs in the barrel, but crabs don't belong in the barrel. They ain't never tell us that.
Talking about crabs in the barrel. And we can wind it down in a second, Jonathan.
So in the barrel, we gonna act like we act. We can easily get out the barrel if we stand on each other's back.
Come on.
Whoever is on top, as long as they stay attached, they can pull everybody out. I was doing just that.
Yeah.
I told neighborhood Nipsey, stay close. $100 million on your schedule, lay low.
Neighborhood.
For your team to be on point in the places that they go. I never dreamed to get killed in the place that he called home. How we gonna get empowered with you?
Okay, and this is probably the longest we've let a video run, but I think it's really important what Jay is saying. Jay, again, I'm from the 90s, and like Jay was always just known for being the superficial rapper, talking about bling, jewelry, cars,
Right.
slanging dope, and he's evolved into somebody who we consider more pro-black or more woke. But I had no problem with the content of his rhymes. They were dope, except people found an inconsistency in JayZ's past behavior, and I'm curious if you guys know about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's well known for his drug-related past. I mean, him stabbing his brother. I mean, it's, I know. He's,
And I'm going to say along the lines of gentrification, too, specifically, if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Well, no. Please.
Okay,
Fill me
Jayla.
in.
Okay, so do you guys remember when Jay was a partial owner of the Brooklyn Nets? This is a few years ago when they were building that new stadium, and it turned out Jay was just maybe an owner of like a couple of shares. I don't know, a couple of slivers of a percentage, I don't know. But they were putting him out there as the front man because they wanted to get the community, behind them since they're going to his hometown, Brooklyn. I know Jay's from Brooklyn. Jay basically led the gentrification army for a largely white set of corporate owners to come in there and supplant like the traditionally black and people of color neighborhood in there. Now their whole thing was like, we're going to bring jobs in, but again, like you don't know those addresses to the people they brought jobs in. They don't check. But more importantly, the people who were making the money off of that, it wasn't black people who were the owners.
Right.
We were talking about these filthy rich white owners, which they kind of used Jay as like the figurehead to kind of like usher this in.
Well, we have to think like, who got JayZ money, and
Right.
those are all the people that are up there in that same tax bracket. So it's easy for them just to call him up and be like, "Hey, Jay, come do this."
I mean, and I think that's what's hard about it is JayZ could be learning from that experience. We don't know all the details, obviously. I mean, I wish I could, be that close to JayZ and Beyonce. But like, I feel like we don't know all the details, all the variables that go into it. And hopefully it wasn't on a shiesty end for him. But I am a big fan of JayZ. I do feel like he's come from nothing to something now, and he's trying to spread that message. So I'm gonna hopefully like kind of go with him in good graces and believe that he's.
Those are rich people problems.
Yeah.
I still have to worry about if I'm getting
Gentrification
Postmates.
Student loan.
It's a complicated issue, and I'm going to say my opinion on the other end of this, but let's just go to the tweet and see what Black Twitter had to say.
Okay.
This particular guy, Esquire Montgomery, JayZ rhyming about gentrification, LMAOO, after Barclays debacle. And that's what he's referring to, that Barclays Stadium, where it's like these rich whites came in, and they got rich. But I guess here's the mixed bag about gentrification, and it goes on. I grew up in the Baldwin Hills, Crenshaw district here in LA. There's a lot of gentrification going on. Right? Lamar Park, where my family. You'll see like white yuppies walking there like poodle down Crenshaw. It's just,
And they'll look at you
like
crazy. They'll look at you crazy. Like, what are you doing over here? And it's like,
So
no.
I like the fact that it brings, economic empowerment and makes improvements, but we've got to find a way to do that where you don't displace the previous black owners, and it's not all of these like filthy one percenters who happen to be white who are making all the money. And I think this should. And I was saying this earlier about like checking addresses. They always say, "Oh, we're going to bring like 1 million jobs over there." Well, I don't know that they're actually checking people's address and see if they're actually getting jobs. Like, you need to get somebody from Brooklyn, and not just from Brooklyn, but like from that part of Brooklyn, that downtown part of Brooklyn that's predominantly black. So I guess I'm saying there's not a lot of accountability on that. So that's the downside that comes with gentrification, as opposed with NIP, when we do it on our own, and when a black person does it on, we have total control.
well,
Now,
that's
say if we do the great things that we say we're going to do, and we offer these opportunities, how many of us are actually going to get up and go do it?
I think a lot of us would. I feel like one thing that I know my friends do is they've bought land and they've built like an infrastructure there, or they've built a home. And what they do, if they do have a home that's in like a more urban area or a POC area, what they'll usually do is if they don't want to live there anymore, they'll rent it out to people of color. They won't, and if they don't want to have it anymore, they'll say, okay, well, I'm going to make sure that I sell it to someone who looks like me. I think that those are the small ways that you can do it, and also just investing in real estate, really. Even if it's as small as like getting a parking area and renting that out.
Yeah.
I think it has to be like small steps, because like you said, we don't have Oprah money, and starting a business and investing that amount of money is all, that's you'd have to have that money right now to be able to just risk. So I think picking up a book, everybody, finding financial literacy and talking to someone else, fixing your credit, little small things like that is what helps you get to financial freedom. And I think that is the bigger message that Nipsey and JayZ kind of always, threw out there for people.
Yeah, and I know Jay's intention, and we're all allowed to grow. One of the things I was trying to say, it seems like what we're saying is that to prevent gentrification in this worst possible form, we need to be on code. Black people need to be on code. And I think it's not like my personal opinion. I'm not saying, white people don't move to the neighborhood. I'm not saying anything like that or it's evil, but there's a way things are done. Like, for instance, we were talking about the Harvard gentrifier, that guy last time, and we were talking about how if you move into somebody's house, let's say, or if you rent a room in someone's house, you pretty much got to read the room and defer to them. You don't go marching in there saying, no, you got to move around me and I'm going to do what I want. You got to be respectful and a little deference, That's my opinion.
And also, too, like, who is he rapping to? I want to know what the crowd looked like, because I know oftentimes when I go to these concerts for Black artists, it ain't the audience.
Empty.
Well, the audience ain't Black.
Yeah, people who can afford JayZ tickets are probably mostly white.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He's rapping to the people that don't even need to hear it. But hey.
So hopefully they did some giveaways, like I know, like on Hot 97, they'll give away tickets to the community so it gets spread around, things like that.
Right.
All right, but a big shout out to Jay. We respect his movement, what he's doing, and keeping Nip's legacy alive. So the other part of this, gentrification argument.
Okay.
It applies to the Nipsey Hussle mural. Now, people, if you've been following the news, all these murals have been going up about Nipsey, not just in the Crenshaw area in the 60s, but all around the country, every state, New York, Connecticut. So apparently, there was a mural that went up in Connecticut, and this random white girl took it upon herself to deface this mural.
Yeah.
There's a video of this?
This is the video. But let me tell you, when Tariq Nasheed, he has one of the loudest voices on Black Twitter. I'm just using his as an example. I'll read his statement. A video of suspected white supremacist female named KK is circulation of, her name is KK, that's crazy. Circulation of her blatantly defacing a mural of Nipsey Hussle in Hartford, Connecticut. This definitely would not happen in LA. Oh no, she would have got shot. She did this to show her white dominance. She shows Black people aren't going to do anything to her, and I think real quick, let me just put there's the nuance. There was the video that we're gonna see was taken by another Black girl. Yep. Instead of her going over there and stopping her, she filmed it because she wants to go viral. I'm sorry, so go ahead and then we'll watch the video.
Pretty much. No, go ahead. You can take
let's watch the video, Jonathan.
Yo, word of mother, like she came over here on some shit. She said, "Fuck everybody." Like, yeah, word of mother, my nigga. Look at this shit, my nigga. Like, she tagged this shit. This is crazy. Like, we just begged her, shorty, please don't tag. Like, my nigga, look at this.
Like, how you telling her, please?
But what could she do besides call the police? But because even still.
But here's my opinion, and we can talk over the video at points. I think she could have stepped to her and confronted her. And you have to shoot her. Doesn't have to get violent. But like, yo, put it down. And if she's obviously not from that community, or if this young sister over here has 4 other people with her, she'll put it down if she's kind of asked very sternly. But they kind of almost enabled her. Like, just don't do his face. I don't know. That's crazy.
Well, and I'm glad that they at least recorded it so she can go viral and people can drag her. Because Black Twitter is heavy with the heat.
They found her ass.
Heavy with the heat. So that's my thing is you do this and that's your little, the devil is always out here, always angry.
That breaks my heart.
People just be mad.
Lay low for a minute.
Right. Or not.
And see what happens. And I'm serious. Right. I don't wish violence on anybody, but But
karma is a whole biatch. So, girl.
It's just the fact that someone willing to go viral by defacing someone's legacy, and the fact that someone, again, I understand having the proof, but someone would actually film that because they want to go viral, as opposed to stopping it.
Yeah.
Like when you see, anyway.
We have to stop rewarding foolishness.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot. Yeah, man, talk about Black Twitter, where foolishness lives, as well as a lot of other positive things too. So, but we got to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. It's been a great day and a great host a new set of hosts right here and great topics. So, ladies, why don't you just familiarize yourself with everybody and give your socials, and then we'll get out of here.
Well, again, my name is Raquel Harris, and you can find me on all social media at Raquel Harris TV.
And you can find me at Who is Jayla Roxx 2X's3 if you nasty.
Hey, like Janet. Hey, everybody, it's your boy Al Gregg back again. You can always find me on @JamaicaHouseDoc on Twitter, and my IG is alg_JamaicaHouseFilm, and you can find me here every Monday, 7 p.m. BHL for another episode of Black Twitter. Brat.
On behalf of our BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to Black Hollywood Live, the world's first digital broadcast network devoted entirely to urban entertainment and pop culture. Check out our Black Hollywood Live YouTube page for even more great programming and amazing content, and be sure to subscribe and like our channel when you do. I'm your BHL host, Nakia Monet, and you can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom or at Black Hollywood Live. Black Hollywood Live, Hollywood redefined.